Welcome back to the Listening Lounge. My name is Nick Day, CEO of JGA Recruitment Group, specialist payroll and HR recruiters. And right now, there is so much noise on LinkedIn, it can be hard to be heard. So relax, take this opportunity to learn something new by tuning into Listening Lounge. I've been joined by coach and mentor for HR thought partner and influencer, speaker and author of Putting the Human Back into HR, Sue Patel. Welcome, Sue. How are you feeling?
Hi, yes, I'm very well, thank you. Actually, I'm a little bit melting. It is really hot.
Really hot. I think we've just had the day of the year, haven't we?
It's very humid. Yeah, very humid. So, but yeah, really good otherwise, considering, how it is for a lot of people out there. I feel in a really good place to, just serve and be present.
Fantastic. Well, I'm delighted to have you in Listening Lounge. We're going to jump straight into the first question. Sue Patel, what do you think are the major challenges faced by HR at the moment?
Gosh, like they're dealing with so much right now. In the early part of COVID, they were like the heroes, learning everything about furlough, learning and really holding the company together with the remote working processes and all of that. They were like our HR heroes. They were just really relentless in getting people settled, handling people's anxieties, often taking those anxieties home with them and feeling the drain, like for themselves, psychologically, mentally, and whatever. And, a lot of them are now coming out to, towards the end of COVID and coming out of lockdown. A lot of them have been made redundant, are in fear of losing their jobs, and are really just dealing with one, obviously being really upset with the fact that they've been made redundant from their jobs, but the anxiety and the worries of what's to come. There are so many HR professionals at the moment out of work, and they're feeling like there's a lot of competition out there right now, and there's a lot of them applying for the same job, and how can they be better than anybody else? So they're dealing with loads of issues around self-belief, their own self-worth, their confidence, and just anxieties about their future. How are they going to pay the bills? How are they going to pay the mortgage? How are they going to, develop their kids and provide for their kids and all of that, really. So there's a lot of that kind of anxiety and worry going on at the moment, which is, quite stressful.
Well, obviously, as a coach and mentor for HR professionals, obviously you're seeing this firsthand. You're seeing this at ground level. Yes. A lot of people coming to you for advice. So with that in mind, I guess my next question is, what are the biggest challenges, Sue, that you've faced or you face at the moment?
So one of the biggest challenges for me, and I've shared this before, is that, in 2016, I separated from my husband in February after a 10-year marriage. In the March, I was made redundant from my 27-year job, and then in the April, I had to sell my house. So I went from, being around a lovely, loving family, a secure job that was giving me the income, and living in my own home, to being a single parent for the first time in my life. I was terrified, having no job. I've always had a job. Like, to be suddenly out of work and not have a regular income, I was so anxious and worried all the time about how, what's going to happen to my future and my daughter's future. And, I living in a rented home for the first time. When my parents, when I was young, I remember my parents, we didn't have our own house. And one of the things I always promised myself was I was always going to have my own house when I had a kid. So going to live in a rented home was so big for me. It was like, oh my God, this is so not what I ever wanted. But I had to let go of all of those old ways of being, the old attachments and the old, the limiting beliefs, and doing a lot of work on my mindset, working with coaches and mentors myself. I've really become, like a real leader out there for others, really serving other people with, my gifts and, my experience, and all those experiences, have really made me who I am, and I'm really so grateful in all those challenges that I've been through in my life. Like, each one of them have been a gift to me, because now I'm able to really serve like as many people as I can, because I know whoever I meet, one of those people has gone through one of those experiences that I've had, of the so many, so it's just so great to be in a position now to really serve other people. And I think, you know, with everything that's going on with HR professionals and having experienced that anxiety and that worry and that way of like, you know, constantly worrying about the future, that I'm now able to help HR professionals, you know. So I myself have now created a free program for HR professionals where we coach and mentor them just to help them handle the anxieties and just to let go of the resistance and the tightness of worrying about the future. And it's great because it's really helping, you know, just to be in a community of other like-minded people.
Fantastic. Well, it leads me nicely into my final question. So what does an average day in the life look like for Sue Patel?
So up at 5:30 every morning, and I do 40 minutes of intense like workout. I'm doing like 1,000 rep challenge at the moment. Wow. Where we've got to do 1,000 reps, and I'm part of this community, so we've got to check in to say we've done our 1,000 reps for the accountability. So it's so great. And then I'll go for a walk straight after to start my 14,000 steps target of the day. And once that's done, I'll come back, shower up, and then I'll do my prayers and then meditate for 20 minutes, which includes a visualization. And that just really sets me up for my day, which is pretty cool. 8:30, I have my first call with, you know, it could be with anybody. A lot of the time it's with my colleagues who I'm working on, you know, because I do a lot of personal development work on myself. Yeah. So they're an accountability buddy. So we'll be checking in, and I have somebody different that I'll check in with every morning at 8:30. And it's just great. So I'll have somebody who checks in with me around my health or my finances or my business or my relationships, whatever that is. So it's somebody different every day. And it's just great to start the day off just having a little bit of a reflection on, you know, how the day is going to go. I also check in with an accountability group and be really intentional of who I'm being in the day. Because often, you know, we have to-do lists, but what we don't have is an intention of how we're going to be, you know, and what we create is who we're going to be today. And then from that place of being, then we have our to-do list. So we have a list of like, I write down my non-negotiables for the day. So my non-negotiables might be that I'm going to do my 14,000 steps that day. You know, recently I've really been mindful of how much screen time I'm having. So I'm really reducing my screen time. So I've set a target of how much screen time I'm having. And also just planning in moments of joy. You know, I shared it on the podcast, didn't I? That we don't, as adults, actually spend time being joyful or just having fun, because it's all work at work. And then we go home and it's still work, isn't it? Because we're making dinner, you know, getting the kids ready, or we're constantly doing, rather than being. So I minimum, I will plan in 10 minutes of joy a day. And that could be just 10 minutes of Bollywood dancing or messing around with my daughter. I've got my niece with me at the moment. So the three of us are just like, you know, having fun, messing around in the living room. And it's just great. We're doing TikToks and stuff like that. And then I kind of, you know, tend to not do Zoom calls in the morning because I like to have my mornings to be creative. So I write my newsletters or my LinkedIn posts and stuff. I spend that time in the morning where I can really I'm at my best then. So I'm creative and I'm thinking. And then I start my coaching sessions from 12 o'clock till 5 o'clock. Not back to back. I always make sure I have a break in between to get some more steps done. And also to make sure I have something to eat. So I'll have like a smoothie or whatever. Because it's really important for me to really balance, like my days. It's important to have my day not just be about work. You know, it's important for me to have it also about health and also about time with my daughter and time for myself. So I try to break my day up as much as I can to include all of that.
Well, you've got an amazing energy. You know, we've only connected really this year, and you know, we've spoken many times. I think you've got fantastic energy. I know how much great work you do for those, supporting those with mental health and anxiety problems, and trying to help people get back into work, and supporting those that are in work but want to make it to the next level. So hugely appreciate you joining me today, Sue Patel, on the Listening Lounge. It's been fantastic to have you. And I just want to add to anyone listening, always remember that every good conversation starts with good listening.